Welcome to Contenders China, everybody. We are here right in the action, BTRG versus TSL. I'm LemonKiwi, by my side is lafon, and we're here to bring you the first match of week 3.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one here, Lemon. The action already underway, as you mentioned. Heading in, it's going to be that 3-3 against the Somber Goats. Let's get her going.
Let's get it. And Umbra's already higher energy than probably we are. We are going to catch up to all the amazing action happening. TSL, plenty of ultimates, cleaning up BTRG, and they will get the first cap lafon.
Yeah, they will. And right now, TSL has the ultimate economy. Again, Raphael has that EMP, so they already were going to win that next. They're most likely going to set this next fight up for a win. Eren not nearly to that transcendence yet, and TSL giving it so early on is very good to see because this is a team that has had a tough early start, Lemon. Two of the toughest teams in this region as their first 2 games. So TSL already out the gates looking very, very strong.
I'm loving the Somber Goats of TSL. They're gonna have EMP and a Shatter to combine with it. Now they know also what doorway they're coming from. There's the EMP from Raphael. Everyone from BTRG got hit. And DPS actually held on to his Shatter. And that's fine because they cleaned up BTRG.
I'm so happy to see DPS doing well, man. This guy has been around the world in Contenders. You know, we saw him last season in North America and on a much maligned team. And early on this season, I was kind of questioning his gameplay, right? He played the Wrecking Ball in match number 1 that he played and didn't look that strong. Match number 2, though, I thought he was one of the strongest players on the field, and already here in match number 3, looking like a very large threat. DPS suddenly a really good main tank here in the region.
He's looking for the Shatter. He slams it down. He catches at least the Lucio from BTRG, who are looking to respond. They use a Transcendence from Eren. Great timing there. Now, it's actually Skyshow who uses the grab. TSL, they sustain here with the Transcendence, and now the grab is launched from Umbra. Self-destruct over the top from the other side from Wands, and the barrier used from TSL to sustain. Now things are starting to flip over for TSL, taking out the main tank, and the rest from BTRG are soon to fall. This has been a great showing so far from TSL.
Yeah, and even though DPS goes down that fight, he hit back-to-back shatters to open up that fight, pulls out both support ultimates for BTRG. They get 0 value from either, and now put themselves in that last fight territory. Raphael will have EMP coming in here, as well as, of course, LRC on the Brigitte. The rally will be there as well. Yang needs to be a hero here with this Earth Shadow, otherwise this is going to be round 1 in the books already.
And the rally's going to start from TSL. They have an EMP. Can BTRG even survive? No ones. And Yang are down. They use the double main tank, but now no longer can support their teammates. Half of them are down. Eren's Transcendence not able to come out in time to save the rest of his team. And there's really no other stall they can do for reinforcements. And this is, lafon, this is one of the maps where we can spend quite some time on Oasis and 100-0, and one of the quickest Oasis maps I've seen.
I think this is probably the cleanest 666 Legend has looked all season. And I think the fact that they went through that crucible, so to speak, that hellish first 2 weeks is the reason we're seeing such a strong team here, right? You get the hard games out of the way, you get the place where you know your gameplay is going to be exploited the most, you can have game footage to work on, and now you come into this match number 3 and you're looking against a team that BTRG has had a kind of easy start, right? They're 1-1, but they've played against their 4-0 came against the easiest team, I think, in my opinion, in this group, and then when they got 4-0'd by the hardest team in their group. So you know, I think here BTRG, we're still wondering where their power level is, whereas TSL, we know they're just being unlucky.
BTRG are 1-1, they're in 4th place. TSL 0-2, but like you said, they faced 2 of the hardest teams, BLG and was it T1W, but T1W, they actually took a map off of T1W, and sticking to what they know best, what they were able to take a map off of T1W, the Somber Goats. Unfortunately, they lost Umbra and DPS from this over-aggressive push that they did, so they're actually going to give the first cap to BTRG.
Yeah, they're going to have to, and I think this is an interesting change up here. Wands is switching over to the Winston, I think, most likely, so they don't, if he gets hacked, he's no longer, you know, he's not nearly as big a target as D.Va. Remember, D.Va, if she's hacked, just ends up becoming a big ult battery, and Raphael farming a ton of energy off of the EMP energy off that off tank. So Wands, he gets hacked in, he's gonna just no bubble here. He has to be very, very careful.
Oh, DPS got stunned, and this just opened up a ton of pain for the backline of TSL. Now BTRG still in the driver's seat. And what do you think of this double main tank of the Winston Rien?
Yeah, like I said, I think it's a specific composition to deal with the Sombra. I don't think it's more than anything beyond that, right? You have a little bit more engage potential. You're no longer, if you get caught out with a hack, you're not nearly as big a meat target, so to speak, for the EMP charge. I think that's really what it comes down to here. They feel that the Winston has a little bit more value, but Raphael already is close to that EMP here, and this could be a game changer in and of its own right.
Oh yeah, you gotta protect Eren, Win-Win, who are gonna have support ultimates, but hey, not even needing it. They actually destroyed TSL before they can even get the EMP off.
Yeah, Yang with a really good Earth Shatter, and you know, Win-Win Q trying to find that final blow, doesn't get it, but that's okay. And that's gonna buy them the 50% mark right now. So now before this next fight even starts, you're up to the 65% mark or so, and now you put yourself in close to last fight territory. So BTRG doing a great job of coming back in this match, but again, look where Raphael's set up. He's gonna try and find an EMP with the Zed. He's gonna get it all the way through.
That's perfect. Getting Eren, you'll take that twice. That's so nice. He had Transcendence. You still have the rally from Cloud that did go off, and Wands is trying to stall with the Primal Rage, but BTRG are down by 2 and probably more. But if they can stall this to 75% plus, they're still in a good spot to at least send us into a round 3.
Yeah, and like I said, the play here is to go for last fight territory, right? You don't expect to win out a fight against the EMP if the Zen gets caught, which, you know, TSL, they scout out Eren very, very well. This Transcendence is not very viable, but you don't use any ultimates to win that, to lose that fight, right? Just the Primal Rage. Wands is going to switch over to the D.Va here now, and Skyshow with the Graviton Surge could be a win condition. The only thing is, 666 Legends have the support ultimates to kind of work around it.
Yeah, he's got to make sure that either the grab or the shadow are going to catch those supports. Like you said, they hacked Eren, and now they're throwing in Ombra's grab. Transcendence from Eren comes out as soon as he's unhacked. And BTRG, they survive. What a counter shatter coming in from both sides. TSL, they use the barrier, now trying to hold on to the point. They cannot give this one up. They're not going to have too much time to re-engage. But the front line starts to crumble from TSL. And now it looks like BTRG are in a good spot to send us into a round 3.
Not only are they in a good spot to send it into round 3, they're almost certainly going to do it. Look at the fact that TSL has a good ultimate economy, and BTRG, even though the same can be said for them, have defensive advantage. You're walking into a fight where you have superior positioning, and you have the time working in your favor. TSL are just going to get stuck out here in the main area.
They're going just to get a pick and then backing right on out. They kind of let TSL slip through their fingers, so there is a back cap from the Zarya and the Sombra, but BTRG, they've won this fight already. Now they're going to be chasing off TSL, who trying to burn some time for reinforcements. It's 99% to BTRG. Is there anyone there to touch? Umbra is there to build some time, create an opportunity. You have a few coming back from TSL, but there's a grab and more left over from BTRG. So we're going into a round 3.
BTRG is more than okay giving up that back cap, by the way, because you're going to lose like what, 30%? It doesn't really matter. You win out the fight, and I'll trade a stage win for a couple of percentage points any day. And BTRG seems to agree with me, and so they go to allow that back cap to go through. They clean up the front line, and then it's just cleanup, right? It's just cleanup. There's no way for TSL to really contest, and BTRG, even our map won a piece.
And this is quite a response from BTRG. 100-0 was the first round for TSL, and now BTRG adapting their comp with this double main tank, like he said, to go up against Raphael.
It's going to be interesting because we know that TSL is going to only run the Sombra Goats, right? That has been their MO for this entire season so far. And my expectation is going to continue to be that way. And this is definitely a composition designed to, A, deal with the high ground because, you know, the Winston can leap there, but also be less affected by the Sombra. And TSL, they scout out what's changing, and they're going to go back to spawn and switch up.
Okay. Yeah, just going to go for your standard Rien Goats. What's interesting is that only one of the teams is running a Winston, so he'll be able to dislodge people from the high ground a little bit more. And BTRG, they'll have the superior positioning at the start. TSL taking their time to get the right comp.
I really like this change here from TSL, but, you know, right in, they're going to go in. Umbra showing up the D.Va already, and DPS going down. This is a bad start for TSL.
Yeah, that's going to be a fight loss, especially with Umbra out of mech. So Raphael is going to pick up the Zarya role instead of Umbra. So especially with BTRG that were on the high ground, they were able to easily collapse on DPS and the rest and kind of ruin them before they could even get a fight going.
Yeah, Wands is going to have this Primal Rage for this next fight.
That's BM.
It's a little bit funny. You know what? Here's the thing. These teams are competing against each other, right? But there's also that element of fun that you still got to have. And, you know, Wands clearly going for it there.
Showing his dominance.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, it's Sober also showing a little bit of fun back and forth there as he runs the tactical crouch through. But yeah, no, expect Wands to engage with this Primal Rage here. A very aggressive play coming through. The Winston, probably the only one here who can disrupt this early on in the match.
So Raphael is going to have the grab coming up, getting closer to it, but BTRG are just in their faces with their own grab, with their own Primal Rage, and with their own kills, slamming TSL right back into the spawn room. And if you remember, this is BTRG really clapping back from the round 2 take over TSL.
Yeah, and here, but the thing is, TSL, they don't use anything that last fight, right? So BTRG expend probably their best ultimate in the Graviton Surge, and 666 Legend just accept the fact that the Primal Rage Graviton Surge combo is going to beat them down. Now they're going to walk into this next fight with arguably 6 ultimates, and could very explosively turn this fight back in their favor.
They're starting the rally here from TSL. They're getting ready to engage from the corridor. They throw out Raphael's Grav, and there's the Transcendence from Eren and the counter shatter from Yang Yang that completely stops TSL in their tracks. They try to throw in Umbra's self-destruct. It's not going to connect, and already down by 3, TSL have to give this one up. Now it's 75% plus for BTRG. It's getting down to the wire.
This is a questionable choice for me because I didn't see if Shush got hit by the Earth Shatter or not, but SkyShow doesn't have Graviton Surge because you just used it. The fact that you don't transcend in that fight to give yourself a win advantage is curious to me. I'm not sure if that was a call to come through, but no support ultimates were committed, and now you're in last fight territory. You don't really have the resources to retake here.
And you have to be careful of DPS's shatter. He gets 2 of the supports out. The Grav on top from SkyShow, and charging on in is Yang Yang, trying to clean up with the Primal Rage by his side. But there's actually a back cap from TSL, but that's okay. BTRG will be able to get back into the point and take that. But that back cap did allow maybe TSL to have a little bit more time if they were to go for one last tiny fight.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this one as Sober gets knocked off the map. This has been, if the first map was very convincingly in 666 Legends' favor, this last 2 stages have definitely not been. They're going to clean up here. The last final blows come in. The Earthshatter just for Theatrics is 100 to 22, and right now, TSL are going to have to give up map 1. This is last second stall. There's absolutely nothing here for BTRG to really commit as DPS gets stunned up here, Lemon. They're really trying their best, but it's definitely not going to be enough.
Well, TSL at least did try to adapt their composition, figuring out, well, going against a double main tank, Raphael has to do something different. Gives up the Sombra, goes to the Zarya, maybe instead of picking up the Diva, so Umbra and Raphael kind of swapping roles there.
Yeah, I think there it comes down to the fact that TSL, it felt like the synchronization that they had in stage 1 just disappeared. This is going to be a little toxic to say, but it felt like TSL had only scrimmed that first stage and just like forgot the rest of the map existed.
Ow.
Because the communication just appeared to disappear in the latter 2 stages, right? There was a layered support ultimate. Support ultimates weren't used in a fight that was winnable, and you just don't commit resources in a fight that you realistically need to win. I feel like TSL, there's definite moments where I think they're the better team. Like that stage number 1 looked fantastic. BTRG though, you said it, they came back on the latter 2 stages and were the stronger team as a whole. I'm not entirely sure why TSL chooses not to commit to a fight that is a turning point.
Well, it is 1-0 for BTRG, who are in 4th place. Can they keep themselves in that spot? We will be going into map 2, but we'll see you guys right after this break. Welcome back, everybody, to Contenders China. Yes, we just finished map number 1. If you are new to the stream, Oasis was taken by BTRG 2-1 after a really nice adaptation and compositionally wise over TSL.
I think this comes down to scouting, right? But BCRG knows what TSL is going to run. I think TSL tried to throw back the standard 3-3 against them. They bring out Umbra on the Diva, and then Raphael switches over to Zarya. Clearly a role he isn't comfortable with because it looked a little shaky, and they end up just losing both the latter 2 stages after BTRG did those switches, as you mentioned. I think here we didn't really get a chance to talk about this at the onset of the broadcast, but BTRG have had, I think, probably an easier run through these 2 weeks as they head into week number 3 against DSL. And I think initially, at least, you could be forgiven for thinking the same about, that this week number 3 would be an easy match for them as well, Lemon.
Yeah, you said BTRG had an easier week. Both of these teams faced BLG and lost 4-0. That's a given. They're a top team right now. But TSL also faced T1W, where at least they took a map, but they lost 3-1. But BTRG faced Alter Ego. I think that's what you're referring to.
Yeah.
In week 1, where Alter Ego is sort of at the bottom of the standings currently. I'm giving them some hope to kind of climb back. But yeah, that was a 4-0 win for BTRG, putting them in 4th place and the 4-4 in map count.
Yeah, I mean, Alter Ego, it's kind of unfortunate, but they are probably the one that's gonna struggle a little bit. But we do have, headed back to this match now between TSL and BTRG. Excuse me. We do know what our next map is going to be, and it will be, of course, on Hybrid. So Eichenwald will be the map number 2. This is a map we haven't seen a whole lot of, Lemon, and I'm excited to see how they kind of bring it into play as we cut here into Eichenwald.
I'm super excited to see BTRG. On hybrids, they love to run crazy Hammond quad DPS with Mercy. They've done this on Blizzard World, they've done this on King's Row, only to get the point, and then they swap to something normal, like maybe like a Goats, or maybe with a Sombra 213. So I'm excited to see if they're going to try this, or maybe this is not the hybrid map they would, you know, especially with that bridge and that archway, if they want to swing through that with a Hammond.
I mean, we've seen teams in China already run the quad DPS on this map. Unfortunately, it was TFV that was the one that showed it. So how much truth we want to take from that match, I'm not sure. Those of you who are familiar with Chinese contenders will know that TFV has been running nothing but quad and even quintuple DPS at times. So here we go, map number 2 underway, LRC initial pickoff.
Yeah, BTRG going with that double main tank. Again, they sacrificed the D.Va instead of the Zarya, going for the bubbles to, once Wands goes in on these dives, and also to bubble off and cut off the resources from TSL, and they're doing quite well, breaking through this underpass, taking down the DPS, no Brig, and not really anything left from TSL. They're going to leave that D.Va out to dry, and they're going to take the point. I
think this is the difference right now between a good Zarya and one that is kind of struggling. Skyshow already up to that 65% mark, 100 energy the whole time, whereas Raphael barely at the 30 mark, and you can kind of tell he's uncomfortable on this role because he's not really finding value, and BTRG have just better bubble timings. That last fight comes down to the fact that DPS is expecting a Zarya bubble to sort of keep him up in the fight versus Yang Yang. He doesn't get it, Yang Yang does, and that means that DPS goes down, so it's a very unfortunate situation, but TSL, Raphael's gonna have to clean up these bubbles very quickly.
Absolutely, BTRG, they use the shatter and they just start rolling through TSL where they're so low ult power because they just die instantly in these fights. These have been very quick takes from BTRG.
This is really interesting because BTRG has, you know, we've been talking, you know, Wands has actually run this Winston now on a couple of maps. We've only played 2 maps. He's run on both maps we've seen so far. Listen, counting hard. Yeah, but Wands has actually found a ton of value, which is unexpected, I think. He is getting in, jumping through, and still finding ways to use that bubble. The Graviton Surge is going to be coming in, and they're just going to clean this one up.
It's, wow.
I mean, that's not even a real fight, if you ask me.
The definition of a clapback, this one is it. Because TSL, first round of control, 100 to 0. It was like, wow, this is going to be one of those games, huh? And then BTRG just sweep through the first
I guess it is
map,
still technically one of those games, just not the way we expected.
Now it's the other type of game where now it's the other side, but TSL, they have one last chance to contest it. They're going to set up Umbra self-destruct. Okay, he's going to debate me, goes up into the air. They try and use some support ultimates, and there's the self-destruct from Umbra. They're all into a corner. Eren had to use the Transcendence. So thankfully for TSL, they've gotten a lot of ultimates out of BTRG, but that will be point B for them.
Oh my goodness, speedrun Icon Vault Edition, let's go. Realistically, BTRG has not been stopped in this map yet. TSL, even though they're looking like they understand the general ideas how to run the standard 3-3, functionally are not. And Raphael, as a result, is going to switch to the Reaper, and this is the mark of a team in desperation. This is the mark of a team that is kind of lost and doesn't know what to do. Yeah, we've seen how poorly this has worked out before, so I'm not sure about this one. I'm going to switch over to the Zarya. Clearly, they're uncomfortable with the composition that they've chosen to run, and BTRG are kind of, I think, in TSL's head.
I think this is kind of good, though. You don't have a D.Va to eat a lot or matrix a lot of this Reaper damage, so this could be the call to just simply use the Reaper to break down the shields of the Winston, break the shields of Yang Yang, and
Wands should switch here. Wands should switch. I think he should switch to the D.Va. Because there's nothing really, yeah, he's gonna switch. There's no reason for him not to, right? Now Reaper's just shut down. Reaper was good a second ago, is now bad. Raphael gonna find, I think, very little value here in this next fight.
Oh no, and now it was too late for him to notice that he might be switching. There you go, the counter swap to Sombra. This is perfect again, but now you have the grab from Skyshow. The barrier from TSL and defense sustains them, but they were not able to hold on to DPS, so if they can try and back on up, see if they can go in with their full 6 before this gets capped, that'll be good.
Yeah, I don't think so. There's like the rallies coming through. They're not getting kills. They need to get this Graviton Surge yesterday. They finally get it out here, Lemon, but there's no real follow-through.
Well, this is 2 picks now for BTRG. They just used the Transcendence. It made them invincible at the start of this fight, already when they were up 6 versus 5. But they did make BTRG swap their comp with the Reaper.
Yeah.
doing
I mean,
stuff.
what a puny time bank of more than 3.5 minutes, right? BTRG slacking on the job there. Unbelievable.
It took longer to break the door of Eichenwald.
I think it did, yeah. No, but yeah, no, I think here it comes down to the massive swap. You know what? I would like to see Raphael learn how to play Diva, maybe, because clearly uncomfortable on the Zarya, and he wants to force the Sombra, wants to force the Reaper, but in a close map like this, especially like where you need sort of the damage mitigation of another off tank, you kind of see him choose to run a not good hero. Like, it's tough for a Sombra to get set up on that third phase of Eichenwald because look how small it is, right? You can get scattered out pretty easily, and then you don't really have time to get the hack off and then farm. And of course, when you're in a situation where it's last fight and you don't have EMP, the Sombra is basically useless. So I feel like Raphael, this is something we've talked about him for a long time too, right? This is not new when it comes to this guy's gameplay. This is something that came back all the way from season 3 of last season, right? So Raphael kind of he looked good on that first Oasis point on City Center and has kind of struggled since then. A good job by BTRG to react to it.
I think you bring up a good point that the Umbra versus Raphael, who's going to be picking up the Zarya? It's usually Umbra, and they've had some success with this. They've taken a map off of T1W. It's got to be working in some or am I mixing that up? Yeah, no, they did.
No, it was
take
against CW, correct? Yeah.
Okay, so this comp has clearly been working, but there has been some adjustments with TSL through the weeks we've seen them in Contenders China. If you remember, they were running hit scans with McCree and Ash with LRC. Now it's down to some Sombra stuff. I still think it'll take them some time to figure out what is optimal for them.
For sure. They don't have that time, though. That's the only problem, right? We're in week 3. You just don't have time to experiment. Yeah. Here comes that engage, and again, the Winston with the cleave. They're just going to burn all the way through.
And that's actually pretty good because Yang Yang got stunned. Not stung, sounds like from a bee, but he got stunned early on in the fight, and he got so low. That could have been a big opportunity for TSL.
Yeah, if anything, Brig's more of a wasp than a bee, but comes through. Raphael going to switch off the Sombra. He's going to go to the Reaper, so he clearly just not Zarya. That's the call here. Not Zarya.
Let's see if they can break through this with the Reaper, and with no Diva, they're gonna have to force once the swap, or they're just gonna burn through them with damage. And so far, that it won't be this fight, but we can believe one day it'll be the time.
Juan's going for the tactical crouch again. You know what? I think he's kind of earned it. I think he's kind of earned it there. Raphael, he's just Raphael is struggling. You know, against a squishy target like Winston. By the way, Winston, don't let it get confused. Can, if you're not careful, be absolutely destroyed by Reaper. But Juan's has gotten much better. The end of the of the 1 versus 1 here, already at 90% in this this primal rage, and he's having it already. This is so tough for TSL.
Yeah, and they're all so low too, and he might not even need to use it. They're winning these fights through pure, I wouldn't say pure vanilla. There was a shatter kind of thrown up in there, but now Wands can chill in their backline and wait with the primal.
I mean, to quote a certain main tank, they are absolutely still smashing them in the neutral though. So it's not like they're even in the ult fights, you know. They're still winning both fights. It's been very clean for BTRG. Again, after that first stage, has not really had an issue holding this down.
He could have primaled and gotten another one by now, to be completely honest. But they, at least to TSL silver lining, they only lost one after that grab, and there's a real chance for them to at least get rid of Wands, who's too deep for my liking, and now they get grabbed. You see the primal being used to just allow him to survive. They did also use the Transcendence from Eren again to survive, but now they're down by 1. Sky Show is low. This is the chance for TSL to slap back. They shatter, and they let Raphael lead the way with those shotguns.
It turns out when you don't have a shield in your face and you don't have more shields in your face, Reaper is okay. I'm being very generous. Raphael has been struggling here. As Shush, hey, switches off the Zen, gonna switch to the Ana. I like it. Has looked pretty strong on this hero, and again, there's a recontest happening for BTRG, and somehow they're bringing it back.
Okay, that's a very good barrier from Sober. It doesn't save LRC. Raphael got stunned, so he's a little scared, but they did catch Yang Yang at like 1 HP, so it's trades going back and forth, but this really doesn't favor TSL a whole lot, especially when you lost your main damage dealer. So this was a really good retake from BTRG.
Really good to retake, or really bad engage by TSL, I think is probably a more fair way of saying it, because BTRG, that was a retake that should not happen. I'll be straight up with you. That is a really bad disengage by 666 Legends, and they're not able to get any clean kills, and BTRG are finding every single situation that they have the advantage. They're able to just walk back with a Graviton Surge, no support ultimates available, they win it out.
It's a barrier engage actually from BTRG and getting them some ult charge for this last coming fight. Less than 25 seconds. They got Shush with a nano. You gotta give this one to DPS. Not getting that stun onto ones as he would have liked, and now 2 down for BTRG. This is TSL's chance. They lost one of their main healers of Ana, but thankfully you have 2 more. Make it only the Lucio. And now this is when it starts to hurt. 5 seconds left. Can TSL get on this? DPS is gonna put the team on his back, but someone has to touch, and thankfully there was 2 left of TSL to cap it.
Skyshow was an MVP in that fight, even though they lose it at the end. I think he got 4 kills by himself there. Very well done. Skyshow has done a fantastic job on the Zarya. He really, really has. He's looked much, much stronger in the matchup. And, you know, part of that isn't really, you know, it's not Umbra's fault, of course, that he looks like the worst Zarya, because I don't think he has the same level of support. BTRG just has more engage potential, right? And so Skyshow is always at 100 energy, and his aim has been fantastic. Bubble timing has also been really good. And that means that they're willing to take those fights. Again, an early play, and TSL half HP all the time.
Oh, wow. Yang getting a little too deep. Ones should trying to also protect his team with that primal. He's trying to get these environmental kills and also just disrupt the whole setup of TSL. And that's especially hard for an auto player when everyone's getting primaled. Who do you shoot at? Who are you trying to heal? Which I gotta say is a very solid swap from Shush to go for those swaps, go for those antis, deny that healing from BTRG. And speaking of healing, the Transcendence does come out to win these later stages of the fight. And there's a pin from downtown. See you later, Raphael.
I mean, did we even see him to begin with? It's kind of tough to say that, but DPS coming through, cuts the swings in. He's actually finding a ton of value on this Reinhardt Lemon. They don't want to let this fight go away as they nano boost TSL or LRC.
That's a raid boss.
Yeah.
Actually doesn't die. If you think of your top 3 people you want to nano, a Brig's always a solid choice with Amber Rally.
Yeah. It's all. When you look at that, well, what's your reaction? Like, oh my goodness, the end times are here.
Just run. That's
just
scarier
run.
than the Reaper.
Yeah. Yeah, that is actually the case. So, unbelievable. Here we go. Now it's again. No, it's last fight. This is 40 seconds remaining, and you know, 666 had to use nearly everything in that last fight. They will have the Graviton Surge and no Transcendence or support ultimates on the reverse to sort of block against it.
Well, this is the last fight. You really don't have another go at this. They solo grab BTRG, or sorry, Skyshow, one of the members of BTRG, and that's great. You'll take that. He was close to grab. This is a winnable fight for TSL. They did lose one of their main healers. They still have a Brig and Lucio, but Wands is just going off. They have leftover support ultimates. Skyshow is going to be back with Grav and Raphael. I don't know what that was.
He's resetting. They have one more fight, and they have 10 seconds to get here. I don't think there was any way for him to get out otherwise, so this is a good way not to stagger himself, but it's so tough because I don't know that they have anyone who can touch the cart here, as it's going to be gate kept out. Can anyone even contest your Lemon?
Oh, there's a Lucy.
Nope.
Just kidding. I tricked you, chat. I tricked you. You actually have to be on the payload to start overtime. Today we're learning. Today we're learning.
I mean,
2-0 though.
I feel like you should tell TSL this. If anything, people outside of the stream know exactly how to trigger overtime. TSL, you have to be on the cart to trigger overtime. It's
Speaking of trigger, TSL, like, what is happening? This is the completely different than what we've seen them in the previous weeks. I think we were talking I thought TSL were going to put up a way stronger of a fight when they put up such good competition against a team like T1W, the past season champions, and now they're having a tough time against BTRG, who are about middle in the standings.
I think this raises questions about T1W at this point, right? So that's another thing to think about.
You can't just blame everyone else.
I can and will say that. But no,
I like to go for the positive avenue of maybe TSL played really well.
I mean, maybe on one map, sure, that's possible. They played really well on that one stage on Oasis, so anything is possible. Like, it's not like BTRG sort of let them run over them. But I want to talk a little bit about this composition that BTRG are running, the Winston. Unfortunately, for some reason, TSL plays right into their hands. Winston actually sections off Ana really, really well, because that bubble, you need line of sight to be able to hit someone with the sleep dart, or with just your primary fire, which allows you to heal your team. And Winston can section off, yeah, right. Winston can just sort of section off the Ana from her team, and Shush just, if you can't hit shots, you can't heal. And through no fault of his own, kind of gets zoned out there. But also, if you play the Zen, there's no peel for you because you don't have a diva, and so this Winston can still jump on you with Zen, and there's no survivability there. So it's a no-win situation for Shush in this particular instance. Is a very unfortunate situation for TSL.
I think the Ana choice now, to give you the other side, devil's advocate, you can give nano to your Rien. When you're going up against two main tanks, at least you can make your one chonky and one buffy Rien to go up against 2 tanks to at least make the space. And also, if ones were to dive, you can try to go for the sleep, but I haven't seen any successful ones, or at least maybe I would have missed it. But that's also, you have to be careful of diving Ana if she has sleep.
Yeah, and that's the thing though. It's not that Sjuush himself has a bad pick, right? I don't think it's Sjuush's fault. I think the Ana pick is fine. I think it's the rest of his team that's kind of letting him down, right? I think the 2 best players in this matchup have been, or for TSL have been DPS and Sjuush myself. So I think this is more a case of the fact that they don't have the peel required to keep the supports alive. That's not the support's fault, right? That's entirely on the team for not doing the proper job. And TSL are down 2-0 at the half here as a result.
Well, we'll see if we're going to see the matchup of the double main tank. This is a meta no one's seen before. So 2-0 for BTRG. We're heading into Volskaya, and we'll see you guys after this short break. BTRG are up 2-0 at the half as we head into Volskaya. Let's see if TSL can make the comeback, lafon, but I know you're not feeling too confident about that.
I mean, I was feeling... If you'd asked me this, I have to, like, say literally City Center.
Before the match started?
Yeah, if you asked me before the match started, I've said, yeah, maybe they could have a fight, but I just feel like, you know, TSL, every time I want them to do well, they just kind of just stop doing well. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to hope they do poorly and maybe they'll surprise me, you know? This is, it's like a reverse caster curse, you know?
I feel like you're the type of guy or the type of parent to yell at your kid for like a B+.
Okay, maybe not yell at them, but certainly, you know, have a conversation about why that B+ occurred.
Be disappointed in them until they get the A, but that kind of, I mean, you know, being
I mean, listen, if they're trying their
harsh
hardest and they get a B+,
helps.
and that's what they got, then that's fine. I just feel like TSL isn't trying their hardest, and as a result, it's kind of showing.
I would still give them a B+. Let's see what they can do now on this first map on the attack. There we go. TSL running the Somber Goats, going back to what they know best, but no double main tank here from BTRG.
Yeah, they're just running straight up Winston Goats, right? So this is going to be the 3-3, but with the Winston instead of the Reinhardt. And again, there's a lot of high ground here that on both Sky Industries that Winston can contest, and that is going to result in that sort of play. If you can get that Primal Rage up very early on, it could be a big difference maker.
Just a little scary, not a real dive there from the Winston, and look at
DPS,
this. Yeah. DPS is down. So that's going to be a reset from TSL. Again, you do not want to engage, especially against a Winston, especially against a dive without that Reinhardt, and you can see Yang Yang going in. Doesn't want to go too deep, because there's still a break. That's still scary.
I think the one saving grace if you're TSL there is that Raphael's at 90% of the EMP and Erong only 80%. So theoretically, this EMP should be online before any support ultimates are available. But, you know, not getting caught in this small area would be a good first start for TSL.
I think a good start, popping that EMP. No support ultimates from BTRG. See what they can get done, but they got to dislodge him from the high ground. There's such a crossfire from BTRG. There's the EMP as SkyShow's grab comes out, so TSL can't even engage on that EMP. It was just, I don't think that was miscoordination. I think that's just one of those unlucky moments of 2 players pressing Q at once.
Yeah, it's as easy as ABC to continue with the 3 letters going on everywhere. But TSL, yeah, no, TSL, it's a good EMP actually from Raphael. The only unfortunate thing is that SkyShow, right as he gets the grab, uses it, and there's absolutely no way to follow up. And now one of your best engage tools is just gone. And now also BTRG have their Transcendence and support ultimates online. This is gonna be really tough for TSL to try and recontest.
Yeah, TSL have to hurry up with this grab. Umbra is going to be the next winning condition for TSL. They're hanging out in Mega Pack room now, starting to touch the point. Dealing with the dive here from Yang Yang is going to be important. It's all up to LRC to go for that stun, call him out, and do exactly that. Deal with Yang Yang, and now throw out the grab here from Umbra. But like you said, support ultimates from BTRG, and also the zoning of the self-destruct of wands took down DPS. No main shield for TSL, and you have even supports fragging out from the defense, so TSL have to reset.
TSL, why? I'm downgrading. I'm downgrading that B+. I'm downgrading that B+, Lemon. That is absolutely not a great choice from TSL.
3 versus 2.
This should not happen.
This is happening. It's happening. Get it. Let's get it. TSL first clap. First clap, I guess, of the map, and for quite a while we've seen them do well. Use Transcendence, use EMP in a 3 versus 3. They thought it was winnable. They getting a little impatient. Last minute of the game, they use the rally. BTRG at this point are just diving into not only contest but to shave time off.
I feel like TSL has kind of sucked BTRG into their pace. And as a result, this game has become a bit of a mess in terms of how teams are engaging with their ultimates. TSL, if you don't know how we're going to play, if we don't know how we're going to play, how do you know how we're going to play? It seems to be the name of the game here. TSL walking into point B, Lemon, and they do have the Earthshadow to work with here.
Oh, this is going to be good, but there's a bit of a split push there from BTRG. 666 Legend caught in the grab. BTRG, great cleanup, and also great to stop the snowball and stop the first take from going through.
Yeah, Wands.
Oh, I didn't know that spot.
Yeah, that's been a spot actually for quite a while in Overwatch. The only reason we don't see it these much. The only reason, yeah, I was gonna say the only reason we don't see much of it anymore, and why a lot of people may not know about it, is simply because like dive has been so out of meta that it's been such a long time. People have kind of forgotten that it exists. Anyway, TSL, they didn't have the support ultimates online, so they just lose to a Graviton Surge. Now, BTRG again will have this Transcendence, and Raphael needs to somehow find a way to build this EMP up, build the combination. That's a good first start. Yeah, very good catch out of the Winston.
Oh, and you hack the Lucio, and now you can go in with the EMP Shatter, but BTRG are so good at coming in from all angles, they make it so hard for DPS to have a successful Shatter. Go for the solo Shatter, dude! Especially now, the Gravistorm from Umbra. You take care of Yang Yang. Cloud is out. 2 down for the defense. Aaron's Transcendence not able to save them. There's the EMP. TSL want to ring this one in. Their final take is just around the corner with 3 minutes and 20. This is a very solid time bank for them to go with, and there you have it. TSL are here to play.
I think that was the first example of patience I've seen from Raphael all game, and I'm really happy to see it, right? He does a fantastic job of actually waiting out the Transcendence, uses the EMP to clean up, and on top of that, the Graviton Surge, the kill that they get in it is a pin. So it doesn't matter that burst healing is there because you can't heal burst damage, and very good final take by TSL. That's the team we've been looking for all game. That's the team from Cine Center that we've expected, and to see them come alive here, it gives me hope that the series is not over yet. TSL have a ton of work to do, but at least this looks like a start.
It's definitely been a different look to see BTRG not run the double main tank. I thought their dive defense on point A was very solid. I think once 666 Legend realized Wands on this Winston is Yang, sorry, on the Winston is the one to go after. Focus your Brig stuns. Focus all your attention on that Winston once he dives in. That's when I think BTRG started to crumble, is when TSL capitalized on that.
No, I agree with you fully. Yang, I think twice died with Primal Rage in a fight that was winnable because he got stunned before he could activate it. So, it's a good read. And if you're TSL, those are the moments that you're trying to play. And that's the level of communication that I was missing. Like I wasn't seeing in the first 2 maps, right? I feel like we've seen a Jekyll and Hyde TSL here, right? Like at times I feel like this is actually a team that is good, that has level of play, that has a level of coordination, a level of planning that we expect from Contenders teams. And then there's times where I'm just like, question mark? Like what is the thought process here? And so I would like to see less of the question marks, more of the actual team play here from TSL, because it's been an odd affair to be sure. And now heading to this defense. Oh, this is hey, welcome to China. We've got DPS galore.
Yes, BTRG. This is the composition. Just kidding.
Actually, no, I'm lucky. Lemon, I'm so sorry. We get to go to my favorite composition. It's just gonna be Winston Goats. Sorry, not Winston Goats. It's the Rien Winston Goats thing.
Double main tank thingy. Yeah, but like they almost teased me with that Hammond quad DPS, which they have been known to do more on hybrid. So this might not be the look to go, especially a Hammond. You do not want to play Hammond into a Sombra and a Brig.
Are you saying you want to play the game? I literally cannot relate. That's very unfortunate.
I cannot relate. Do I want to feed? Well,
I mean, that's just a state of life for me, I'll be honest.
Okay, well, BTRG on the high ground. They have the double main tank, so actually, Yang actually keeping up with Wands, kind of jumping onto the high ground. Now, eventually looking for the moment that they want to collapse on TSL.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting because it's a very passive setup from TSL, and here comes that engage that you were looking for, Lemon. Raphael caught out yet again, has to translocate early.
He just translocated without where all the action was happening too, so that could have been scary, but Yang is out. No main shield, especially no main shield when all the main tanks are out. DPS swinging away, so BTRG really have to focus both of their main tanks together to deal with DPS.
That was actually something that TSL did, I think unintentionally, but nonetheless was the fight win condition. They choked out Skyshow so hard that he could get 0 energy in that fight, and he really was unable to do anything. Meanwhile, Umbra, very high energy, was able to burn down the main tanks of BTRG. How often do you say main tanks with an S? The pool are coming through, but
I know too.
Yeah, now here again, Raphael has that EMP, and 666 Legend could use that as another engage tool.
Let's see where they're trying to sneak off to, and they're running right into an EMP from Raphael. He drops
Raphael,
it on.
please!
It only catches some of them. Some of them were out of line of sight. So this is a great transcendence. They're gonna go with plan B. Throw in a grab from Umbra. Maybe not a ton of damage that you can go into, but you still get the job done, and you engage with Shush's transcendence. So this was still a fight win for TSL, although they had to use both EMP and grab to get it done.
Yeah, I was gonna say if TSL didn't win that fight, I'm actually just gonna drop them to an F because they used the EMP, Transcendence, Earth Shatter, Graviton Surge. They used 4 ultimates. You better win that fight. That's really an overcommitment in my mind. At least DPS is coming close to that Earth Shatter again. They will have the Sound Barrier rally, but now you're playing against SkyShow's Graviton Surge, and you don't really have anything to shut it down. This is a disastrous territory right now if you're TSL.
And there's the grab from SkyShow to start the barrier to counteract that from Sober, along with the rally. TSL want to survive this. Can they survive against this Primal from Wands, who's just juggling everyone left, right, and center? Here's the EMP to stop everyone in their tracks from Raphael and BTRG without their ability starting to crumble slightly. But all in all, BTRG have had about the same sort of attack pace that TSL has. So this might be up to time banks at this point.
Yeah, I agree with you. And this is going to be BTRG going to take this point eventually because they had superior ult economy, right? And 5 beats 4. That's how it goes. That's how math goes.
Very
5
true.
is greater than 4, and sometimes that's all it takes. Here we go. It's going to be TSL now headed to point B. Raphael. Okay, Raphael wasn't having enough fun on the Sombra, so he's going to the Hog now. But this is like a Reaper pick, honestly, except it's designed for the Winston. The hook plus the scrap gun can actually do a ton of damage to the Winston. It's not initially as bad as it sounds. The only problem is, if Raphael gets caught out, the amount of resources to keep him alive are so astronomical, it leaves the rest of the team vulnerable.
Yeah, it's just a buffier Reaper if you think about it. Can self-heal, can hook and deal with the Winston like you said, so this is a great pick, maybe unexpected. The Shatter doesn't land from Yang Yang, but he's got DPS out of position. This is a great finish, and DPS tries to pin back to the rest of his team. Great Transcendence from Shush, the counter Shatter gets not much, and he got stunned after that. Very chaotic fight, but TSL starting to pull forward, and they will ward off BTRG.
DPS is actually the MVP of that fight in my mind. Not only here now we can see Wands is going to switch to D.Va, and so Raphael does the same thing. It's like, yeah, no, I'm not actually playing Hog against whatever that was. No, but DPS was absolutely a stellar player in that last fight. He blocks a shatter of Yang Yang and then hits a massive shatter of his own, meanwhile staying alive through a ton of damage. Yes, that's up to his supports, but also his positioning was really strong. So I shout out to DPS for doing a really good job on main tank here in this series as Raphael continues to play the swap-up game against BTRG.
The hack! He just hacked Yang Yang. What an opportunity for TSL to collapse on this. But now the barrier used from TSL after the grab from SkyShow came out. A lot of ultimates. Raphael was still in the backline during that whole time. So it was so many threats from BTRG to deal with that they just got all kinds of messed up.
Yeah, BTRG have now had a lesser time bank than TSL, so that's a thing to note. Raphael up to 50% or close to on this EMP, and here now is the sunk cost fallacy. If you're Wands, you can't switch. You clearly have a game plan of playing around the Sombra with the Winston, but you're already 50% to that self-destruct. You may as well stick to it. It looks like that's what BTRG think, at least in here. TSL should have a pretty easy early fight because they will have only the Transcendence to worry about. BTRG should probably go for a dry fight here, Lemon.
Absolutely, and to be fair, TSL did take Lunar Colony against T1W. Maybe Assault is one of their better game types, and it's clearly showing in time banks. Can BTRG even finish? This is how TSL stay alive in the series. 2 minutes and something left. BTRG preparing their attack very, very slowly.
Again, they're just trying to farm up ultimates here because look at the ult economy. There's not really a whole lot. A good hack on win-win Q, and that's the engage time. Raphael not going to have anything else to worry about. The Graviton Surge committed here, Lemon, and BTRG continue to try and spend this one forward.
See, they got all kinds of mess up from TSL, but they actually used ultimates, both the Transcendence and a Shatter, instead of just taking the L and going for a better fight after.
I don't agree with that fight with BTRG, by the way. I think that was a really good read by TSL because it does 2 things. One, you don't force any ultimates out of TSL. You actually basically trade, and on top of that, you just wasted your own time bank trying to get up to, trying to decide what you were doing, and in the end, you end up doing a bit of nothing. So BTRG there, probably the first time we've seen questionable gameplay from them, and TSL have now set themselves up for a pretty successful hold. Again, Raphael has this EMP and could just end a push with that ultimate by itself.
Has to be careful. Wands has been using his self-destructs to ward off when things get a little bit hairy. Raphael drops the EMP. Skyshow is the first to fall. Yang Yang the second. And BTRG at least take the fight L very quickly. But lafon, down to the last minute. Can they get the job done?
Down to the last minute, and here now if you're BTRG, you're kind of panicking because while you do have ultimates coming online soon, the problem is TSL could drain the time bank to, you know, less to zero. You could take an overtime capture at the very best, and that means that you don't get a second attack run, and Eren already getting zoned out. This is really, really good by Raphael. The Sombra play finally showing up, and BTRG have to be in panic mode here.
Panic if this combo can be pulled off. Skyshow has to get this grab really, really quickly. You start with the, oh no, Skyshow just died with grab! This is not how you want this fight to go. You needed that barrier 10 years ago. You needed that rally 10 years ago. You needed to save Skyshow. Wands going for the hero play, takes out one. This is still winnable for BTRG. Yang Yang is so low, but they're actually crumbling the front line of TSL. They will get grabbed, but they're getting grabbed exactly where they want to be. First or second tick about to go through. A barrier from TSL has stalled this out for the moment. Now they're bringing out desperation swaps like the Doomfist and the Hammond, and BTRG getting pretty low. They have to be careful here. They can't miss anybody. It is now in overtime, and Raphael just EMP'd.
Yeah, that's going to be it. There's absolutely no way to come back from this fight. TSL have taken their first victory in this particular matchup, their second map of the season most likely, as even though Cloud is kind of getting kills a couple of times, they need that. Man, is there cleanup coming through here?
Oh, stop,
come on, please, no!
You jinxed it, bro!
Oh, you know what? I'm going to take that. I'm going to take it. The Caster Curse is okay.
You take
it's
the
fine.
F. You take the C minus. Go
TSL, why? TSL, why? I said at the beginning of this map too, Lemon. Oh my goodness. You know what though? You know what though? You know what though? I do deserve it. But you know what? You know what? I'll take the loss on that one. But here's what I said. Here's what I said. Oh man, I'm so mad at TSL. You can't see. Oh god, dude. There is no fight where you have EMP. You have point advantage. You have 2 kills more and lose. You have better ult economy. Oh my god, TSL. Why?
LeMond's inner coach just like exploding out of himself.
Yeah. See, okay, so here's I don't normally yell at teams on broadcast, but God, that is so frustrating.
They can't hear you, and they wouldn't understand you because I don't think they speak English, or I'm not sure if there's anyone who could translate that for you. But I will pass along some angry words for you. But I think we should still talk. That was overtime, right?
At least, yeah. So, TSL does have a win condition, right? And BTRG, the best they can hope for is a draw. But again, BTRG still has a chance to win the series out here, right? Because if they hold for that, 2 minutes and change, they will have won the map. Well, won the match because you can't take a victory. It'll be 2-1 at the end after the 4 maps, even if TSL takes that final victory. So TSL needs to get that first third. But considering that they're running the Sombra Goats, I would expect and hope. And you know what that's gotten me already in this series. But I would hope that they play for that EMP fight where they win it this time. TSL, please. My heart hurts talking about you.
Well, here is the last fight, last round at least. 3 minutes, so you got a couple fights going. TSL with the Sombra Goats. Clearly, this has been what's working for them. You saw some adaptations from BTRG on Oasis to go up against this. They're not bringing back the double main tank. They're gonna just go with the clean defensive dive, which I think worked out for them well on their first defense.
TSL, man, I'm still hung up on that. No, I'm still hung up on that last fight, dude. It's just, oh man. 2 minutes 40 though on the clock here, and as Yang Yang engages, look at that, 75% to the primal rage already. He's gonna have his ultimate online before nearly anyone, actually well before anyone else. It's not even close. So Yang Yang doing a fantastic job on the Winston staying alive here, Lemon. As again, TSL slowly buying time here on the point.
It's just so hard to do anything to Yang Yang because he's getting bubbled. You can't even stun or boop him away, and now he's got primal. You do not want to be in a tiny room with the very large angry monkey. And there is the fall of TSL.
Here's problem number 1. Raphael is only 70% to EMP. Eren has Transcendence effectively. 94%, he's like 3 shots away, not even, and plus the passive percentage. So you have to deal with this play. 666 Legend, because they get caught up in that room, they don't have any resources. They have the sound barrier, but they need to be more aggressive here. They need to be more impactful in these ultimates, and Raphael needs to be a game changer, and he just isn't so far.
Well, TSL, I think once they work up to an EMP grab, BTRG have to hold on to these supports, not only to their lives, but to their actual ultimates. Aaron has to play out of line of sight. Win-Win could be a little bit faster with barrier. Sober's doubled him on that, as TSL now step onto the point. Again, your winning condition is to kill Yang Yang. I feel like every time they've dealt with him, they've done well. TSL step onto the point, and Yang Yang's gonna make it so difficult for them to do anything.
Raphael does have the EMP, but here is the Graviton. Such good combo. Transcendence is there in time, Lemon. Oh my god, Sober, please.
Oh no. They did an EMP A
good shatter
or any of the supports. Good shatter though, and TSL, they have still a few up, and they like to kind of still go for these winnable fights instead of the full reset, starting to laser everyone away. You do not want to reset when you have a human microwave on the field, but now you have some very, you know, lots of health on the other side when they just use the barrier, and some desperation swaps with the Doomfist coming out. So TSL are still pulling this away. This is one of these miracle fights where they only need 33%, and there you have it. Everybody, TSL stay alive in the series, 2-1.
Thank you so much, TSL. Thank you so much.
Bless RNG.
Oh. They've done it. They've won a map. They're still in this series, Lemon. Oh my god. I have nothing. I have nothing to say after that map whatsoever.
That's it. PSL can actually wash their hands now. They took a map of T1W. They're actually 1-7 in map count, making them 2-7. But they also want to be 1-2 in terms of their series scores. So staying alive now, can they force the map 5? Rialto will be our next map. What do you think?
I mean, I'm gonna say no, because clearly when I predict something positive for TSL, they're like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. That's ridiculous. So I'm choosing the safe option here.
Nothing is good enough.
They've played with my heart, Lemon. I can't give it to them. I can't. TSL, come on, man. Prove me wrong.
You're like my parents. You're like, why are you not a doctor yet? I'm sorry.
Why are you not going to school on time? Wake up and wake up and get to class. I don't even care about your grades at this point.
I'm up at 3 AM casting video games. I'm sorry, Dad. But anyway, let's get to a break now. Rialto will be our 4th map. TSL stay alive in this series. Can they force a game 5, or will BTRG close it out? We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Contenders China. We are in map number 4. The action is still here. 2-1. 666 Legend. Can they send us into a game 5? They're on the attack with what they know best, and that's the Stomper Goats.
Yeah, this is gonna be really interesting if they can bring it. Oh wow, that's a really early aggressive engage. Hello, TSL. This is what we wanted from them. Okay, yeah, but I'm still gonna be bearish about it. I'm still gonna say that TSL are gonna lose this map, because every time I see good things about them, we saw what happened.
Yeah, it's opposite day, right?
Sure.
It's like all the negativity will maybe encourage.
Maybe
them
TSL is just
better.
really susceptible to caster curse. You don't know.
Oh, you definitely curse Volsky. I will never let you down for that.
I mean, I deserve it. I'll take the L on that one. TSL though, you've let me down. I'm disappointed forever.
All right. Well, see if they can do it again in this next coming fight. BTRG actually contesting it way early before the choke point. They're trying to force TSL all the way back, but Umbra's very high energy. Well, SkyShow has had to reset, but SkyShow is going to be closer to the Graviton, and with that pick onto ones, now there's only one main tank you have to deal with, and that's Yang Yang.
But it's another health pool that's just gone, right? So now SkyShow can't really engage as freely as he wants to, and Yang Yang has been hacked up.
Okay. Big slam, as we like to say. That's point A for TSL.
See, something about Overwatch that's kind of happened recently, and this is going to be something you see in quad DPS if it ever becomes, truly a game style, is that it's going to be either 100 or 0. You're either going full tilt or you're crashing to a stop. So there, the hack comes through. Yang Yang DPS very decisive, uses the Earth Shatter to confirm that first point, and that's really good because they only have to use one ultimate to win the fight out. And now you have EMP coming into this next fight. Raphael, very, very smart. You can win a fight based off just that alone.
Can they win off of this grab, or the EMP actually will come out first? But Aaron did get hit with it, uses Transcendence, can't save his front line though, and Sober has been finding some really sick boops this map.
Well, that was a really risky play by BTRG, and they play, I mean, you don't ever want to play against that, canal, I guess, on Rialto when you're against the Lucio, because it's really easy to get knocked off the map, and there the Transcendence finds no value. It doesn't help that the Reinhardt goes down before the Transcendence. Yang Yang is just not playing the game right now, by the way. Hacked up again.
I don't think they can play the game when you get caught in a grab like that. That was pretty solid play from Umbra. The rest following into that, and even Shush's Transcendence in case getting that close might be not too fun. But TSL actually making a speed run out of this. That'll be point B for them.
Interestingly, Eren has switched over to the Ana, so this is even more curious. I guess it makes sense. Raphael's been pretty free in terms of the Sombra play, so you want someone who's not nearly as susceptible to the EMP as the Zen is. Again, the EMP obviously strips shields, and so Zen only has 50 HP after the shields are gone, and it's a really tough place to be.
You can't survive. Oh, the Zen. Okay.
Well, yeah, he's gonna switch back now too, and so it doesn't matter.
All that time, like how good Ana is, but they need that transcendence for the grab, so they're like, oh yeah, that's a thing.
Yep. Shusha has the transcendence. He does not have. Oh, come on.
Okay. Okay. EMP Shatter, getting it done. There's not much to say after that.
No, there really isn't. And TSL continue their walk forward here as Umbra coming up to that 50% mark on the Graviton Surge. The thing is, though, here, BTRG now has tools to actually stagger this one out, right? So they have the Earth Shatter, they have the Primal Rage, and 666 Legend still has nothing to really contest the card in terms of tank ultimate. It's interesting to see how they approach this one.
Yeah, the defense definitely favoring here. Shatter and Primal gonna use the Primal. Yang Yang is hacked, so he gets dealt with. Now a winnable fight for TSL. They actually don't have a ton of ultimates, but they could get Umbra's grab up in time in the later stages. But even with that pick, TSL not playing too aggressive with this.
I'd like to see the sound barrier come out here. You want to win this fight out right away. There it is. Comes out right away with Lemon, and they're gonna try and bring this fight through.
You really are a coach. You're calling these left, right, and center. But now the grab comes out from SkyShow. Can they burn down this offense? The counter grab and the EMP come out from TSL. And this is the answer they needed. And there you have it. They will finish the map with 3 minutes and 37.
Hey, that's a speed run. That's a speed run. Rialto is a notoriously tough map to take, and you can see why kind of on that third stage it's heavily defensively favored. You know, there's a lot of good choke sidelines where the defense can sort of funnel the offense through and win it out, but a good ultimate rotation there by TSL. And I think the first time this match where I've seen a fight that looked like it might be slipping away from TSL where they commit resources. They come back into the fight, they find a very, very good EMP grab, and they just clean up. So well played by TSL. BTRG though, there's moments here that I think on this third stage where they kind of make it work. I'm fishing for things here. I'll be honest with you. BTRG looked kind of weak on the first 2 stages. They just gave up. They gave up the first 2 stages, but I think out taking any real fights. No real ultimates gained, no real time banks shaved, and all the time they took off the clock was on that third point. So TSL a very, very strong attack here.
TSL definitely upping their aggression. I felt like every time, I don't think BTRG played bad. I just think that they kind of lost the fight before they even could start a fight, because they got EMP Shatter, then they would get grabbed, and it was really trades back and forth. I thought, and this is, remember, this BTRG was the one who did the speed run on Eichenwald. Yeah. And TSL couldn't even get to point B on Eichenwald, if my memory serves correctly. So the fact that TSL are doing so much better on Rialto is very nice to see.
I think this speaks for the fact that TSL is finally taking initiative in these fights, right? They're not waiting for BTRG to engage upon them. They're actually going after the kills. They're actually going after the plays, trying to make something happen. And that is going to be the difference maker, right? You can't leave a fight go. You can't leave it, you know, to stagger out.
Okay.
I mean, we cut back into the map to see Cloud just take Shush's head off, and that's going to have to be a reset now from 666 Legends as Raphael trying to poke away for that EMP Lemon. And already, you know, doing a pretty good job. 20% ult charge gained as the cart continues to kind of move forward.
Yeah, interesting kind of swap from the offense. I don't know if they tried to
Cloud's back to the Brigitte, by the way. So he's going to, it was just an early pick off that finds value.
So that's good. And Shush is back to the fight, so they did gain a little bit of space from that, but Wands is hacked, and that's what Raphael needs to go for. One of these main tanks cutting off the bubble usage from Wands as soon as he goes in for these dives. So will be TSL holding the payload for the moment?
You can clearly tell that the hack target has changed because Raphael is now trying to hack Yang Yang nearly every time. He's not going after Wands. This has been clearly a change in style as Yang Yang again hacked up.
Yeah, that's great, and that forces them back because Wands can't protect him as much as he would like. At least you do have if you can save bubble for these hacks, or you might not want to dive as much with the Sombra giving you trouble. So nice play from Cloud to get that Reinhardt out of position, but BTRG should be getting this payload to A.
The Transcendence, oh no! You use it because you need to stay. I don't even think you needed to use it. That's a questionable Transcendence there from Eren. And now they have no support ultimates to deal with the Graviton Surge that's coming through. Umbra does have it, of course. So this next fight, 666 Legend has a clear win condition set. Literally just a Graviton Surge. Shush gets his face right clicked, so that's unfortunate. But I still think 666 Legend can take this 5v6.
For sure. BTRG though, I mean, it's kind of on the same pace as TSL's attack so far, getting halfway to B. They're trying to take this high ground now, and this will be a nice approach to see if they can come in from all angles, set up Yang Yang Shatter.
Here, the question is, though, you can't really do anything if you're Yang Yang because you're being engaged on here by the defense. This Graviton Surge could be a difference maker. Good EMP coming in already.
That's a grab and EMP, though, from TSL, and one of those overkill moments that you're talking about, but they do win the fight.
I mean, they're going to. There was no transcendence. There was no sound barrier. LemonKiwi still doesn't have his online, so I think that's a bit of what we would call overcommit, as you mentioned. You could have just won that out with Graviton Surge. I find that that's just bad scouting. I think you need to call the transcendence available. Maybe they just wanted to make sure they won the fight. I'm not sure. But on the whole, I can't say I agree with it. That being said, BTRG now have the Graviton Surge in their back pocket here, and the question is, can they combo it with something to break through the Transcendence? Again, this is going to be coming down to the fact that the heals are so massive.
Yeah, the heals are massive. Shush with the Transcendence, but the bubble does cut off some of this healing, so Sober does die with Barrier. BTRG now going to use the Shatter on Umbra, and you'll take that. You want to cut off the other Zarya's energy, huge source of DPS from the other team. BTRG with a few picks will actually go for more staggers, but also don't want to go in too deep.
Yeah, no, that comes down. That's a good shatter actually, because TSL kind of gets split. It's 2 and 2 essentially, and it's a shatter to confirm a fight win. You want to keep this cart moving here. A recontest happening for TSL as they get back just in the nick of time.
Oh, a barrier used to engage from TSL. See, with combined with the EMP, combined with the shatter from DPS, gets everyone on the floor from BTRG. And this is a solid spot that you want the payload to be just right before B. And this will really favor TSL.
Yeah, Wands could have used the Primal Rage, but elects not to because his team had lost the fight. That's a really good read. I find that the fact that they use the rally and the EMP there, you know, the rally, they take the rally away. Bayron kind of scouts out the fact that Raphael's over his head. It'd be interesting if you could shoot someone while they're in translocate, you know, in that when you see that like that effect come over your screen, you could shoot at it. That'd be interesting. Probably not balanced, but it would be funny.
Probably not. But BTRG electing for the high ground, and again, Wands will be the one to watch for with this Primal Rage, but they might get caught by a grab here from Umbra. The ditch has come online. He has no energy, so he won't be able to output a ton of DPS, but keeping Shush alive will be important for this coming fight. There's the grab from Umbra, but again, low energy, not able to capitalize on a ton of kills. Shush does use the Transcendence. Aerong used the Transcendence earlier to sustain BTRG. There's a shatter that gets the breakdown and a huge opening for BTRG after that.
This is the thing is though that despite the fact that it looks like a really good fight for BTRG, they had to commit a ton of resources for it, right? TSL equally so. Raphael switching off the Sombra. He's going to the Roadhog again. We saw how well this worked on Volskaya, right? Wands was a bit of a nuisance on the point B, but the Roadhog scrap gun coupled with the hook, putting him out of position. They're gonna scout Wands out here.
Oh yeah, good. Oh, how did he hop out of that? I'm actually
Primal Rage. He had Primal Rage. He used it.
Primal. I thought the ceiling was a bit too low, but I don't know physics. BTRG using this Primal to great efficiency, taking out DPS, who was so out of position away from the rest of the team. Now going after Raphael, and that's a great stagger. BTRG now getting this payload ever so closer. They are down slightly in time banks.
Yeah, but this is going to be problematic for TSL because there's no real way for them to recontest here. They're going to have to touch now. Sound barrier, where is it? Oh,
a last-minute barrier, but there's just such a pain train rolling from BTRG with Yang Yang leading the way, with Wands cutting off the resources of TSL. I do like the Roadhog pick. I think it did start to give trouble to Wands, especially on Volskaya, like you said. But also the hacks have been really solid from him.
I think Raphael has looked pretty good on the Sombra in the latter stages of this match. Initially looked kind of weak in Oasis and in Eichenwald. You know, where he kind of struggled to play to great effect, but I think here on Rialto and of course Volskaya Industries was a game changer at times. I want to see more setups from TSL though. At times the Sombra is just kind of not finding value because there's no way for anyone to get into the Graviton searches or the EMPs or really any of the other resources that TSL are committing. So I'm I would like to see more setups here from TSL, because I think that's one of the reasons why they kind of staggered out a lot on the latter two stages here on Rialto. It comes down to the fact, though, that BTRG, even when it looks like all is lost, they're willing to throw resources into a fight and end up pulling it out just at the very end. So it has been a close match so far, and both these teams' defense doesn't seem to mean a whole lot.
I think BTRG's best look has also been with the double main tank of Yang Yang and Wands working together on the Winston and the Reinhardt. I felt like when they only ran the dive or only ran with the Reinhardt, I think in a head-to-head DPS versus whoever the main tank is that he's dealing with, they need two main tanks to deal with DPS. And I think that's been their best look. You've seen it on Volsky, you've seen it on any other map, especially on Oasis when they brought that out, how much that countered Raphael on the Sombra and how much that just completely made it so difficult for DPS to main tank.
Here, it's going to be, now we're going to have that second round rings go. And by the way, DPS is the main tank of 666 Legends. We're not talking about the character class.
I know, he should just change his name to Tank and make this easier.
Yeah, but then we'd be talking later where we'd be like, oh, the tanks go down. Well, which tank are we talking about? The player or, all of BTRG? So.
It's great. He also had that name on Skyfoxes too, so maybe he'll go for a name change eventually. BTRG, though, on this attack. The minute 45, that's really not a ton of time to get A, and... Okay, BTRG, though, they get their Winston hacked, but he's still going to survive. They do lose Sky Show in the process. It's a 1-to-1 trade, but now you have no Yang Yang. I was gonna say no main tank, but they have two. I have to remember how to count.
I mean, it's not really your fault because, this is not a common setup, right? The double main tank look. And I like the fact that Umbra's playing aggressive here. You need to get that Zarya up to Graviton Surge because the fact that Skyshow's so far behind at this point and he has low energy means you can win a fight out with just a Graviton. Aaron's going to have the Transcendence shortly, but now the question is, can you force resources away from BTRG? Time is ticking, a minute remaining. This is going to be last fight most likely, and BTRG have one chance here at capturing point A.
Oh, they're completely surrounding DPS too. They booped him out of the bubble, but that's a done-and-done kill. Huge plays from BTRG to be able to utilize this double main tank. So TSL, they might be able to have one last engage if they get back, but you see BTRG are just ready for them.
Yeah, this is going to be a last fight contest. There comes the cart contest from Raphael. He gets out at the very last moment. There's the tag back in from TSL.
Good Transcendence from Eren. This will keep the front line alive for the moment, especially when Wands got hacked, and now there's the EMP just to layer it on top of TSL, who want to win this so bad. They got to stay on the cart. On top of that, you have EMP, you have Shatter, you have Rally, you have Transcendence, you have Barrier. You almost used everything from TSL.
TSL needs to win this fight.
Left. They need to.
If they don't win this fight, they've actually just lost the map because they will not have a chance to recontest with resources, and that is going to be incredibly problematic. They need to get these final blows right away, and here they come through.
That's big. You stopped BTRG. Okay, overtime. But you stopped BTRG before point A. They had, roughly 2 minutes to get this done. It's still very difficult to get to point A of Rialto, so this is maybe not too surprising to me.
It's interesting here that we're going to go through to this it's going to be the last round, and here we either going to go to a tie in map score, or we're going to end with BTRG taking it all. So a map 5 is a possibility here, Lemon. Man, TSL.
Let's see it.
I hope so, because I think TSL deserves... Actually, so again, my resolution, don't say positive things about TSL. TSL just going to absolutely lose this last fight. No, but I think let's take a moment to sort of understand how that last fight kind of goes and why BTRG have at times looked like a better team. DPS actually goes down really early in that fight, and he goes through a combined 875 HP. Not only is the Zarya bubble, which is 200 HP, and then the rally pack is 175 HP, he gets both, and then his 500 HP is bursted down. That's a ton of damage just gone like that. So that just gives you an idea of the focus fire. But a good EMP comes through afterwards. The Primal Rage, when you can't leap because you're hacked, ends up just becoming more of an ult battery than anything else. And TSL, at times, they look shaky, but they bend, they do not break, and they take that full hold here on Rialto on their second set. Now they have a ton of time. Now here's a chance for you to make it.
It just came down to like the 5 or 6 ultimates that TSL had in the bank. They're all just so panicky trying to hold on to this payload, then they all press Q at once. And thankfully, 6 ultimates all at the same time was able to take down BTRG.
Interesting to see how they reset here on the attack. It's going to be interesting. Again, they're going to continue running the Sombra Goats. It's worked for them, and I assume that this high ground contest from BTRG is very curious. They're giving up so much cart space here to TSL. If they need they're going to go for the chokehold, right? Because that's, you want to make it awkward for the offense to try and walk in, and TSL are just going to take the high ground and just say, yeah, that's cool. We don't care about your chokeout. We're going to just avoid the payload for now and go for a much easier, cleaner fight.
But I like that they have wands. Instead of on the Winston, they have them on the D.Va, so they can contest the high ground and maybe try and scout check Raphael a little bit more. Even give some pressure to Umbra to matrix some of these grabs. That could be a big game winner. Less than 3 minutes, TSL now have one pick, taking out the Brig. They got the Lucio low as well. BTRG giving up a lot of space. They barely have wands in mech. He's 1 HP. He's got dents so many places in his mech. TSL starting to run over BTRG, and they just can't afford to lose anyone else. They can't get staggered here.
No, if they get staggered here, you're absolutely correct. This map will most likely be over. So BTRG, a good soft reset here as they try and recontest. But again, DPS has the Earthshatter very shortly online. I don't know that BTRG is going to have a way to contest it as the hack comes from Raphael.
It's blocked. Okay, it's blocked, but you hack Sky Show and you need to kill him. He's going to have Grav, and this will be the saving grace that BTRG need. They don't have self-destruct combo, but they have Yang Yang, who could just pop off. There's the Grav. Yang Yang swinging away, but they're getting so low trying to engage into this Grav. They actually start to lose some members. DPS comes out of the corner.
If you're TSL, commit, please commit. You have no, too late. Now you have to reset. You had a chance to commit to that fight. You had equal fight and better resources. I don't, man, TSL, it's a safer play to back off, but I think there you have the better resources, they have the better advantage, and you most likely could have won that fight. Now Yang Yang switching over to Risa. This is such a, I don't know. I don't know. They don't have anything but the support ultimates here. Yeah, someone has to scout out Raphael.
Where is A-Wrong? Where is Win-Win? You gotta get A-Wrong. Raphael is going to hack the D.Va, exposes him himself early. The Orisa is going to be a little bit tough now. They throw the grab from Umbra, the EMP on top of it, taking out all the shields, all the abilities. A-Wrong didn't get hacked. He uses the Transcendence, but his team is dying. TSL sustained with a barrier. They're putting all the damage they can onto this payload. BTRG missing in action. TSL, we're down 0-2. The clap back in 2 maps in a row. We're going into a game 5.
Oh, TSL. Okay, good. So my continuation of not saying nice things about TSL is somehow still paid off. The reverse Cassifer is coming into play. It's good. I think TSL, the win condition for them was established with Raphael's EMP, and you know, the fact that they're able to get the shatter through. So TSL, they recognize their ultimate advantage and they actually commit to it. And that is the first time I think this match, this entire map really has been TSL finally learning what an engage was. And that is so nice for me as a, you know, as a color caster, you kind of see these teams kind of sort of be very slow, be very methodical, but that ends up being oftentimes, especially here in China, where teams can be really aggressive, it ends up being a loss more than anything. So the fact that TSL have finally learned how to be aggressive and engaged as a team is so nice to see. That's actually one of the reasons why that's actually one of the reasons why I wanted them to commit to that fight when it was 3v3, because I thought that, you know, it was a sight of TSL just not wanting to go for the win. At least they had a proper backup thought that they were going to reset a 6 and then just dump everything into a last fight. And they just played the back and forth, right? They played you know, you won this, then you have that, and it's good scouting across the board. So TSL, they make it look ugly, but at least they get there in the end.
It's just like you said, all of TSL working so well with the Sombra, combining EMP Shatter, combining the EMP Grav. Although it might look like an overinvestment on paper, if they're winning the fights and trading ult economy, it's working out for them. And this is after Eichenwald was almost a no-show for TSL, right? And now they actually do so much better on this payload map. But we're going into a 5th map of Lijiang Tower. We're going to be right back after this short break. In game 5 between BTRG and TSL. TSL are down 0-2. The comeback starts here. Can they do the reverse sweep? Lijiang Tower's coming up.
No. I'm just continuing the thing from previous Matt though. Listen, every time I've said nice things about TSL, literally every time I've said nice things about TSL, they somehow make me look completely foolish. So maybe if I say negative things, they'll make me look foolish, but at least then they'll have done something properly. Yeah, but it's worked out so far. So I think
studies have shown that harsh parenting does actually prove to have more successful children. So maybe your harsh coaching actually is improving TSL in some spiritual way because they can't hear you.
It's certainly a long. That's a bit of a stretch in my opinion, but we'll see. No, but TSL, I think here BTRG, we can kind of look at the composition they've been running and how TSL have reacted to it, because we've talked about this a little bit throughout the broadcast, you know, but BTRG have run pretty religiously this Winston Reinhardt composition, right? Where the Winston ends up being more of an off tank. And with wands on the Winston, obviously. And I think here what's changed is that TSL have decided to have Raphael spend his hack target elsewhere. Remember, when Wands was on the D.Va, D.Va was the one being hacked out most of the time. And now what's happening is that Raphael is switching over to the main tank, the Reinhardt, and hacking that, making a different angle of attack. So, you know, changes back and forth inside the map as we head here into Lijiang Tower.
Oh boy, this is where it goes down. Can BTRG go up 2-1, keep their 4th place spot, even maybe climb higher, or will 666 Legend get their first win this contender season? And against a team like BTRG, I think that's a pretty big accomplishment.
Yeah, no, because BTRG, this is also a good time to realize at the power level of what BTRG is, because I think here now we're seeing that TSL is not as bad as their 0-2 scoreline, right? And BTRG, they look about right at the 1-1. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how these teams play around the fact that they're in that sort of middle of that pack area. First early hack off on the Lucio here, Raphael sending out the speed, taking away the speed from BTRG.
Yeah, they were playing really aggressive, right? Hacked at Lucio, slowed him down just a little bit. Now BTRG just rotate towards the point. TSL with the Sombra, see what angle of attack they're coming from. The Sky Show is so high energy, and they trade that. Yang Yang is down for BTRG. This is a real opportunity for TSL to engage.
Here's the question, though. How do you follow through on the fact that your Lucio is gone? I think you just have to soft reset, right? So that's what it's going to come down to. DPS walks a little bit further back, and here it comes. Oh, just a aside, it comes into now. We're going to have to see if Sky Show, he's super high energy here. This is now the Zarya versus Zarya fight, as Wands just kind of finds everyone and kills them.
Versus the World Show.
Yeah, I don't know how we kind of missed that, but I don't understand. Wands just literally walked up and tickled them to death.
Oh, nice. You hate to see that.
I mean, if you get tickled, it's pretty uncomfortable. So I can understand, you know, kind of
from that.
Yeah.
Attack, but TSL have another chance to engage here, and they're gonna have Grav Shatter. Maybe EMP Shatter would be the better combo, but this is their chance to clap back. BTRG though, they have a lot. Nice hack onto Wands though. He's gonna have Primal. He's gonna want to use it right after. Grav comes out from Sky Show, and that's already 3 down and more for TSL.
TSL though pull out 2 ultimates from BTRG. This is the glass half full. Oh my goodness, glass half full look at it. Cloud uses the Brigitte ultimate, the rally, as Sky Show uses the Graviton Surge. TSL just don't commit anything. They don't have the support ultimates online. So it's a tough look in here, right? So BTRG now, they have advantage here in this round number 1. TSL gonna engage with rally LemonKiwi.
Yes, and that's a great shatter as TSL we're trying to come in, and Umbra dies with Grav. Crab Rave, why does this happen? TSL 75% plus for BTRG, and this is last fight for TSL.
Raphael has the EMP. If you can sort of set up Eren to... This should be... BTRG now have to play this very carefully. If TSL commits too much, could be problematic. But theoretically, they should be able to win out this fight with just 1 of 2 ultimates.
Okay, this is the one. The Grav plus EMP equals death, right? Is this what's supposed to happen? But Eren still got the Transcendence out. You have the barrier from Win-Win. Shatter from DPS gets everyone out from BTRG. This is the flip, and this is the start of something good, but they have to hold every fight after this. Remember
where I said they needed to use 1 of 2 ultimates, and they used 4? The problem here now is TSL don't have anything to recontest with. Right? BTRG are going to walk back in with Shatter, with Primal Rage. Their one saving grace is that, TSL's one saving grace is that they have support ultimates, and BTRG does not. So here, TSL has to play around the fact that they have those support ultimates. They have to be very cognizant of that, and try and just sort of set up the sustained fight to try and build their Earth Shatter here.
Oh, this Shatter's online, though, for Yang Yang, and that... Nothing is going to stand in his way, and Wands is making his job so easy, lining everyone up like bowling pins. Now, can he line them down? Answer is no. Back into the spawn room, TSL will get another fight.
So here, actually, that's exactly what TSL needed to do. They used their support ultimates to stay alive. Unfortunately, they used both, but they bought time for DPS to actually build the Shatter. He hits, I think, 4 or 5, and the cleanup is there. Now here, BTRG have their win condition. They have the Graviton Surge. TSL has nothing to counter it. Raphael is going to have to be Johnny on the spot here, grab that EMP, and be very, very aggressive with it.
Oh, you got EMP though. EMP, Raphael, can he shut this down? They need to be perfect here. If BTRG wins this, they'll take the first round. There's the grab from SkyShow. Cloud uses the rally. Raphael, his last saving grace was the EMP, but Eren didn't get hacked and he has a Transcendence. This has been a common trend for BTRG to just go around these EMPs by keeping their supports out of line of sight, keeping them out of range. And now BTRG get the flip, overtime into effect. TSL are not in range to touch, and that will be first round to BTRG 100-74.
I mean, BTRG in a rock and a hard place, right? You have to know that the Graviton is coming, but you have to play close to each other because you're playing that 3-3 composition, the 1-2-3 composition rather, because the Sombra is in play. I think there you have to just sort of scout out the fact they have Graviton and play around it. Raphael just a little too slow with the EMP. The Transcendence comes out to nullify all the damage, and BTRG off the superior ultimate economy win out that fight and take the lead 1-0. TSL, you know, one thing to note is neither of these teams has really won on Lijiang Tower yet this season. I mean, part of that is because both these teams play BLG on Lijiang Tower, which is an easy way to lose a
just
map.
Had a rough week one in general. Let's be honest. BLG and T1W. Yeah. Now you can actually play Overwatch, or maybe at a Overwatch at a level more of your team's, you know, level.
Yeah, so this is going to be a very curious opening. Both these teams, again, opening 3-3, Juan still on the Winston, and both of these teams to choose the very aggressive play to play in lobby here in the open area as Juan tries to find that initial engage.
Yeah, and if Raphael's gonna go for the Sombra, he needs to also make sure these supports are hacked, and diving into the backline, they catch Wands, and they booped off Yang Yang. Two main tanks out, it's time to go for TSL. They move now towards the point, and you gotta keep your eye on Reddit Lucio player Sober, who will boop you off the map. We've seen him do it on Rialto. He'll do it again.
Sober was an absolute hero in that play. He boops both main tanks off the point, or off the map. I mean, Wands has the jump pack to get back into play, but that means he has to jump into TSL, and then who is waiting for him but LRC with a shield bash? So, you know, it's a no-win situation there for Wands, and that's just an easy fight win. 2 kills off of 1 right-click there from Sober, and TSL start to build percentage here on the point.
Remember, on the first control on Oasis, it was BTRG that took it 2-1, and already a first boop. Sober does it again. What an MVP as he kills himself.
What?
Win! What the heck just happened? He just triple booped the team.
I mean, I don't think it matters because it's 3 for 3 and TSL has point control, but it's still like it's like you rarely see that happen, shall I say?
It's
so win-win Q coming right back in. Yeah.
Hi Reddit, but anyway, it's like you said, it kind of shaved off numbers from both sides. EMP from Raphael again. Eren out of line of sight, able to use the Transcendence, but not able to save Yang Yang as Umbra uses Plan B. It's going to be the Graviton that comes out, cleans the floor with we're gonna assume BTRG, and they will hold the point for the moment.
I'm not sure why Shush used the Transcendence there. His team was fine. His team was healthy, and SkyShow's gonna have Graviton Surge here now, and they don't have a way to counter it. So this is going to be really questionable. Here comes that replay of the three-man boop. Okay. Oh man, that's really well done.
Is one that he'll put in his montage.
Yeah, for sure.
I would
for sure.
But holding now 80% plus. This is last fight territory for BTRG. Can they retake the point, or else we're going into a round 3?
And it comes down to this now. DPS has to have this Earth Shatter and somehow nullify SkyShow's Graviton Surge here, because again, they only have the sound barrier to deal with any incoming damage.
Oh, there's a shatter. Oh no, DPS gets it down, the supports low, but thankfully Win uses the barrier once, is going to sustain here with the primal. BTRG can't lose this. They lost Yang Yang, who had shatter. How can they out-survive BTRG? Raphael's gonna have an EMP online, and he's going to use it on the heads, but Eren again. Eren never gets hacked, always uses his Transcendence when these come out, but the kills still rolling in for BTRG, who are cleaning the floor. It's TSL. It's TSL on the right. BTRG are dead, and we're going into round 3.
TSL, you know, every time that was really well done. The way to counter the Graviton Surge there, if you don't have a Transcendence, turns out use Beat to just block the initial burst damage, then have DPS hit a 5-man shatter, so they can't follow up on the Graviton Surge. Excellent read there by TSL, but now, here is the place you do not want to be if you're TSL. You're heading into an indoor map where Sombra can struggle. Here is where TSL, to complete the Game 5 comeback, needs to find a way to make the Sombra work here on Control Center. It's going to be tough because they're again. The Winston continues to keep be played here by Wands, but we're gonna find out. TSL, Sombra struggles here notoriously, so we'll see if he can bring it back here in this last stage.
Yeah, I thought somebody was going to pull out something silly like a Mei, but thankfully the Lucios can't be on Reddit on this map. At least it would be very difficult to. But TSL coming out with the Somber Goats. They already get dove there from Wands, who's going to disengage, and they want to take this opportunity now that the shields are getting low. And Wands is hacked, and he is destroyed. But TSL lost their only main tank. They're only running one. No main shields. That means not a lot of damage mitigation, especially when you only have Zarya as an off tank.
Yeah, I think another thing to note here is that Raphael has actually been the recipient of a ton of these rally packs, which means you cannot confirm them on DPS, and that means that he's going to take a lot more damage here. Raphael just needs to be a lot safer in his Somber play. And this is such a tough thing to say, because you have to be safer in your Somber play while being aggressive to get EMP charge, and that's a fine line to run as that Sombra, but Wands gets caught out yet again here, Lemon.
Wands gets stunned and hacked. He is just not allowed to play the game, but somehow every time Wands dies, DPS joins him in the spawn room. And that's not maybe a trait TSL want to take, especially when BTRG are running another main tank.
Oh, that's a good... Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, got pooped down. See, Sober actually gets him killed. Good dodge on the shield bash, though, or on the Earth Shatter, though, by Raphael.
Is it a dodge, or was that... Maybe
he translocates out of he translocates out of the shatter, so Yang does not get any value from his Earth Shatter here.
Yeah. I guess he'll take the solo shatter onto a Sombra, maybe. But TSL now going to engage. They'll have an EMP from Raphael. He's at the back. He makes sure he wants to get A-Rog. A-Rog still gets the Transcendence out. I think he's pressing Q before the cast. I don't know how the guy does it. Consistently saving BTRG from these.
Oh, the good shatter!
Okay, cleaning up the floor, clean up on aisle 5, TSL swinging back in the faces of BTRG, now getting towards the point that will be the retake.
DPS absolutely outplays Yang there. There is no other way of saying it. Yang walks forward, thinks he has all the time in the world. DPS backs up as if he's backpedaling, and then hits the Q button, comes down with the hammer, knocks them all to the ground, and DPS is going to have an absolute highlight there as they take back the point off just the Earth Shatter. And look at that, already up to 90% on his next one. DPS, man, this has been a main tank that has grown throughout Contenders and has done a fantastic job here in this series.
Absolutely finding his strides, and they're not holding choke, but it will be Umbra's grab. Counter grab from SkyShow. No one can play the game for the next few seconds. Now it's Transcendences from both sides. There's the shatter from DPS. He won't be able to kill him. He's kind of invincible, but now barriers, EMP, every ultimate on the board. TSL cannot drop this fight. It needs to be perfect from there on out, and BTRG will reset after losing their tanks.
DPS has shatter again. He has now used shatter 3 times. He's going to have shatter for 3 times in 3 fights, by the way. That is just fantastic work for this main tank here for TSL. And you know what? A highlight, though, even though it didn't work out, Eren with a very fantastic highlight. He actually moves in front of his Zarya SkyShow to take the pin for him so that he doesn't actually die there. It doesn't end up working, but it's a good play nonetheless. And when you see plays like that, you got to highlight them for sure. So BTRG, they're going to lose that fight out, but now they're walking back in with Primal Rage and Rally. They need to go for a very early engage before DPS gets this Earth Shatter online.
And also, who's going to have the bigger grab? Who's going to get it online? She tries to shatter, and they just actually hop over it like leapfrog. Now it's going to be the Primal from Wands. He gets hacked, can't have any more fun, and DPS is peeling so well for the rest of his team. Transcendence joins back from Shush. They are healed up for the moment. The shatter is blocked there from Yang. There's Umbra's grab. They're still alive somehow. It is now 80 to 80 something. The winner of this fight should be taking this final round in game 5, but it's not over yet.
SkyShow still has the Graviton Surge, and there's no support ultimates online for TSL. TSL, though, they have the engage tools they need. They've got the EMP, they've got the Shatter. They've got to go now.
No, they lost their Lucio, and they're getting EMP shattered. Oh my god, the cleanup, the return sweep of TSL on this map. They even have leftover ultimates, LaFon. I'll give this team an A+, and we're gonna give them their first win this Contender season. What a reverse sweep from this team.
TSL, man, this has been a game for TSL's history books. A fantastic look there. And I thought, you know what? They dropped point 1, 2, right? So they just do everything in their power. It's a reverse sweep in every definition of the word. Fantastic work there from TSL. If you're a TSL fan, you just kind of ignore you watch Oasis first point, skip the rest of the next 2 maps, and then just watch the remainder of the series out, because TSL, it's almost like they woke up, and with the team that we saw on first stage of Oasis is the team we saw on the last three maps. And TSL, this has been a team we've had questions about for the longest time in terms of coordination, in terms of timing, and it looks like finally it's paying off as they come in for the victory here, a 3-2, as you mentioned. TSL, a well played affair from them here today.
A-Wrong was playing all types of A-right on that Zenyatta, the transcendences to counter these EMPs. I know you're shaking your head somewhere in Canada, wherever you are.
No, he did a fantastic job. Yeah.
My MVP medal on the other side of TSL, DPS, absolutely. I know Raphael was, EMPs are great and all, but TPS really stood up to 2 main tanks. Not only one, but he went up against 2 main tanks. And that's still very difficult for him to pull off these shatters. We'll ignore the one, or no, sorry, that was Yang Yang that went on the solo shatter. But DPS has been so valuable to the team.
I fully agree with that. There's, to me, even though Raphael got those big EMPs, it took him 2 maps to get online, right? And meanwhile, DPS has been consistently performing in this matchup across 5 maps. I'm trying to think of like a bad play he's made. He may have made 1 or 2 where he's going to kind of got out, but that oftentimes came down to the fact that his team just wasn't giving him the support he needed. I think DPS had one of the best games he's ever played. I think this goes back all the time he's had in Contenders. This has just been one of DPS's best matches, full stop. He's my MVP for sure, and there's really no one else in the game who stood up to the level he had.
But nothing else we have to say about that, but there's plenty of more Overwatch coming up. We have the past season champions of T1W coming up to the plate against Alter Ego, who are currently 0-2, but they're looking for their first winning Contenders. If TSL can do it, so can anyone. We're going to throw it to a quick break, and we'll see you guys for our match 2.